said, calling me, I was going to be wearing a white shirt. I'm not. I'm wearing a black shirt. Why am I wearing a black shirt?
This is how we're starting the show?
Yeah.
This is it?
Yeah. How you guys doing? Welcome back to Sin City Crypto. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts. And today, like every single weekday, we're coming at you live from our studio in Las Vegas, Nevada. And on today's show, we'll be discussing Bitcoin and altcoins rallying, why Near Protocol might be a good scalp trade. Also, we're going to talk some NFTs. We got our Rate My Portfolio segment today. We posted that on Twitter, so go check that out. And we have special guest, Miss Teen Crypto, joining us in about 30 minutes. But before we do anything else, I would like to introduce you to your other host, and his name is Rob.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take old, boring, and, well, stale information, kind of like my co-host, and repackage it up in a sexy way. Why did you open up the show talking about your shirt?
Because Jimmy said my shirt was going to be white.
Is there like betting going on?
No, but I had to prove him wrong. Yeah.
Yes.
New silent intro. Yes. New silent intro. We're actually training Rocco's replacement today.
Oh.
Yeah.
There it is.
Wave to the camera. Wave to the camera. Everyone, this is Ashley. Ashley, welcome to Sin City Crypto. How you feeling today? She said she's feeling great. And she said she has to put the camera on Robin and not me. But that's okay. Before we get any further, I do like to thank our channel sponsor, Cam's Blue Wire Technology. If you run a business and you want to maximize your networking, IT, and your cybersecurity, there is not a single company that we would trust with our business, our stream, than Cam's Blue Wire Tech. Visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. Speaking of videos, you guys hated on my funny stuff yesterday. Maybe today's a different day. Who knows? Anyways, guys, pull up my laptop. There really is no setup on this one. It's just watch and enjoy.
Spirits don't move. You tripping. Spirits don't move.
Is that a hexagon?
That's when you get liquidated.
Is that a hexagon? It looks like a hexagon.
When Richard Hart says you're not getting your free airdrop. Anyways. We also have the new KFC outfit here.
Oh, nice.
You like how the Colonel's face is right
How
between
many
her
grease
legs.
stains do you think is on this outfit? Like,
Well,
those don't come out.
It's
There's
just
no
extra.
Tide
It's just extra gravy on the chicken, baby. You have the right to remain silent. It's impossible. I'm actually a vegan. You know, being from the restaurant industry, you know, and I'm sorry to all you vegans out there, but when we hear I'm a vegan, the first thing that pops your mind is, oh God. You feel the same way, Robin?
Yes, absolutely. You know what else is annoying?
What?
Well, it's the here, pull up my laptop. I got to listen. So you got me trying to sleep.
Are those new genetically modified mosquitoes, or are they the real mosquitoes?
Also, with
Oh, you got another one. Okay.
hold on, yeah, I got
Okay,
with
Robin.
Thanksgiving coming around the corner. Well,
Oh,
you
God.
got give your turkey tan lines this year and freak the family out. So why not style out the turkey and No. Am I on?
I told you yesterday video was it's bad too.
Tell me if you didn't have a tan line turkey on the table, it wouldn't be the best Thanksgiving ever.
Yes, I have it.
Kind of freaky. Do you deep fry your turkey? How do you cook your turkey?
No, absolutely. The best way to cook a turkey, by the way, is to
Oh, God.
you got to break down the turkey. It's because it's so large. The breast and the leg and thigh cook at different wavelengths, right? At different cook times. So if you separate them, well, not only do you speed up the cooking process, so instead of having to wait 4.5 hours for your turkey to cook, and then to have the leg and thigh be perfect, but the breast drier than my feet. Well, you know, you have you separate the two and you cook them individually. And when the breast is done, the leg and thigh is done, the leg and thigh is done. They're all juicy. And it only takes you about an hour to cook all that.
You know, all limbs matter, Robin. They should be treated equally. Now, one of the classic movies I grew up watching, probably one of my top 5 movies, right? Growing up as a kid, is Home Alone. Well, what if Home Alone happened today? Well, this is kind of what it would be like. Mom, Dad, and then you pull out your phone, text them. Hi, Mom, I'm home alone. Kevin, I'm so sorry. We're just boarded, but I'll get off the plane and come right home. And, well, that's the end of the movie.
Have we taught her how to use the crickets yet?
Crickets.
Yes. Yeah, not your finest work there, brother.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Robin, why don't you show us your pronunciation skills there?
Yeah. Of course. So if you are new here, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. We have a few new people. Ray Run, GT Nuts, Chris Morris, Articides, and to all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
Hold up, man.
We
got
and Crypto Drunk in here as well. He says hola from Montana.
Chris Morris, first ever super chat, and it belongs to Sin City Crypto. We are honored, my friend. We thank you. We appreciate you. Said, want to show some love and keep up the great content. We will keep keeping up the great content as long as you keep throwing money at us. Just kidding. The money's a little extra.
It really elevates the stream. Gets us excited.
Let me tell you guys something. You have a significant other that likes to spend money. That's like me and Robert's relationship. I'm trying to keep this man from spending money and buying more expensive equipment.
It is what I
yeah.
do.
So just know that
100%. That's accurate.
And anytime
honestly,
he calls me and says, I was out, I'm like, please, for the love of God, please. We will be implementing maximum buys.
So here at the studio, I actually don't have any access to spend money.
Robin
he
gets an allowance.
I have to get permission.
Me and Rocco give him an allowance.
But I buy a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah. Great.
4K stream brought to you by our debt.
Hey, the government's in debt. Why can't we be in debt? Now, we know the spot ETFs are a big deal, right? But apparently one company is not buying in, and that's Vanguard, as the CEO, Tim Buckley, says they won't join the ETF race as Vanguard claims to be focused on asset classes with an intrinsic value and capable to generate cash flows like equities and bonds. Tell me you're a boomer without telling me you're a boomer. Boomer. Anyways, Robin, does this make any sense? The argument against crypto is always, well, it has no intrinsic value. It's just what people are worth paying for, or people are willing to pay for. Stocks, you can measure profit and loss and the debt and the company's valuation and revenue. But crypto, you can't. I mean, well,
didn't they file for an ETF in the past?
Vanguard? I think that was I know Vanguard, I would have to look into it. I don't want to just blurt out a
I'm gonna take a look.
Incorrect answer?
I swear. I swear they had applied. But
anyway.
No, it says that they have no plans on pursuing.
But what are your thoughts on what he's saying? They want to focus on assets who have intrinsic value that could generate cash flow, like equities and bonds.
Here's the thing. Honestly, Bitcoin isn't for everyone. I mean, there's some people that, well, they're happy investing in S&P 500. They're happy in investing in traditional commodities, and it works for them. We don't have to have inclusion with every single person. I do think that all major companies that operate in the financial world will have exposure to Bitcoin in some way, especially crypto. And so I think you can't get away with it the same way that you can sit here and say, hey, I'm a technology-based company, but we're not really going to get behind email. We prefer traditional mail services. You could have had that narrative back in the 90s, but at some point you got to give in to the upcoming technology. So I think you might not be in it now, but Vanguard, you will join the club later.
That's right. Enrique Suave said, Rob, the master of deficit spending. So from one end of the spectrum to the other, as another financial giant, this one's Fidelity has the opposite take. They're saying Bitcoin is in the process of cementing its status as a store of value. What are your thoughts here, Robin? If Bitcoin, let's say Bitcoin's gets to $10 trillion, does it get there because it's a store of value? Does it get there because it's the largest decentralized peer-to-peer network? Does it get there because an ETF? What do you think would be the main catalyst? Now, I know multiple things are going to happen, right? But what would be the main catalyst? Is it what Fidelity is saying, store of value?
I would say all the above, but if I had to pick a horse in the race that comes out on front, is the fact that they're going to make money, right? It's the fact that it's profitable business. There's retail customers or their customers that want exposure to crypto, and well, hey, you're going to make money off of it. What is the percentages we're hearing for ETFs? Like 1.5% right now.
No. Well, BlackRock. Well, you have a range, right? But I haven't heard anything above 1%.
Yeah.
I know BlackRock came in at 60 basis points, so 0.6%. If the ETFs get approved at the same time, there's going to be a bidding war, right? These big companies, the VanEck, the ARK, the BlackRocks, they're going to want majority of the money to flow into their ETF. So how do you do that? You charge lower fees. That is the beauty of a competitive market, a competitive capital market. Is you let the markets decide, and that drives down the price and drives up value for your consumer and your customer. So,
well, here's the thing: the volume is to be projected. The amount of money that flows into the ETFs is supposed to be $1 billion. So, at minimum, you're going to have what, $10 billion worth of volume in the ETFs? You would say, right? On just day one,
10 billion.
Yeah, volume. That means sells and buys, right? Because you're going to have people are going to be trading, speculating on prices. And so, okay. But you do agree it's probably going to have $1 billion worth
At least.
of spot, just
At least.
purchases, right? So there's going to be inflows of $1 billion that essentially will stay. On top of that, you're going to have people speculating, buying, selling, trading on the price movement. And so I don't know. I don't know if 10 billion is the right number, but it's definitely more than 1 billion. If your spot market's going to get to $1 billion, you're going to have a surplus in volume. Anyways, 1% of $1 billion is $10 million. And so if you just look at $1 billion as the baseline, you have a potential to make $10 million in one day, right? Just off of the trading fees, the 1%.
If you do 1%, correct.
Yeah. So that's the reason Fidelity wants to get into the ETF race. They don't want all of that to go strictly to BlackRock, right? They want their piece of the pie. Yeah. Big shout out to Jimmy who gifted 20 memberships.
Let's see if Emma gets one. Emma. Because Emma said I want emojis. She wanted one. Hopefully she gets one of the 20. Emma, if you don't want to count on Jimmy or you don't get one, you can always sign up for yourself. It's only $3 a month to have access to the emojis.
Or we have the whale membership, which we are looking for our newest whale member. Where are you at? Now, also just a big shout out. Did have a few new people. Print 3D. Also, as you mentioned, Emma, Crypto Ale, Crypto King, Crypto Frankie Poo, Crypto Golfer.
What are these names?
I didn't make them.
No, I'm not saying
I'm just
you.
reading
I'm
them.
saying to these.
We also got Rob, Retro, Maki Tech, Randy, and me, Crypto. To all of you, hola! Welcome, Sin City Crypto.
Looks like Emma was SOL, and I don't mean Solana. You know what I'm saying?
Can you stop with the jokes, bro? It's just horrendous, man. So, ladies, gentlemen, hit the like button. How many likes we got?
Laughing, but
hold on. We only got like 30% likes, man. What's going on here?
Well, your math is pretty bad.
But we will open up the club. What's the club limit? 180?
Yeah.
180.
You know, someone in the chat said boomer money is going to flow into Bitcoin. Well, I might have some bad news for you guys. Boomers hold half of America's wealth, but they're going to spend it on themselves before their kids have a chance to inherit the money. This is per a poll. Now, what does that mean? Obviously, they're talking about inflation, things costing more, Social Security starting to run low. We know the largest wealth transfer in history is supposed to happen, right? Upwards of $70 trillion should be exchanging hands over the next 25 years as money flows from the baby boomers, which is the largest generation, down to, I believe it's Gen X, and then the millennials as well. And we know the younger generation are the ones that are more open and apt to adopt new technology, new ways of investing. You take a look at the 20 to 30-year-olds, who really has a financial advisor versus the baby boomers. They almost all of them have financial advisors. That is why we're so bullish on the ETF, is because now financial advisors, whereas currently the way it stands, financial advisors are not allowed to speculate on Bitcoin as an investment. So when someone comes in and says, hey, I've heard about Bitcoin, can we allocate some? They're supposed to say, well, man, we can't talk about that as an investment, but let me show you these equities and bonds. When the ETF goes live, conversations will change. You're going to get people to come in. In fact, you're also going to get these financial advisors who will go out of their way to reach out to people and say, hey, look, we got this new product, Bitcoin, the halving is coming. Come on in. Let's reevaluate your portfolio. Let's see how much we can move in there, because we know the financial advisors make money when you make money. So if they have a chance of growing your 5% stake in Bitcoin by 70, 80, 90%, they're going to make 70, 80, 90% as well on a smaller scale. But regardless, that is why we're so bullish on the ETF. That is also why we're so bullish on Bitcoin and Bitcoin's new wallet addresses. Over 700,000 new Bitcoin addresses were created on November 4th. And you can see here, guys, in the orange is the Bitcoin addresses, and that is the largest spike we've seen. And then above it is the price of Bitcoin. Now, of course, Rob, some of it is people diversifying, creating multiple wallets. Some of it, obviously, potentially could be new people who decided to buy Bitcoin. Any thoughts on this before I move forward?
Yeah, I don't put too much into new wallets created, but I did see a chart over the weekend where you had a record of wallets that contained $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, which I think is 0.02 Bitcoin. And so I'm more interested in who's holding an actual relevant amount of Bitcoin. And those wallet addresses have hit new all-time highs now as well. So I think that's more bullish to me. But I mean, there is something to new wallets being created. But I mean, think about how many thousands of wallets are inactive on every exchange. And so for that, I don't put too much into it. I want to know about the whole coiners, who's got $1,000 of it locked up, what the whale wallets look like. And so that's what I'm interested in.
Okay. We had another 5 memberships gifted. Who was that from, by the way?
So we got a little more activity going on from the chat. We got Sailing to Crypto gifted 5 memberships. Also, Brokioshi has been a member for 17 months, a whale member. So a big shout out to you, Brokioshi.
That's a big shout out to you. There is no second best. There is the first best.
There's no second best?
There is no second best. There is the first best. And that first best is the CEO.
Second best.
Of Michael Saylor. So here we go. Michael Saylor on Fox Business.
Now, MicroStrategy's Executive Chairman, Michael Saylor. Michael, I got to give you props, my man. So August 10th, 2020, MicroStrategies adopts its Bitcoin strategy. The experts called you a fool. Thus far, you're crushing everything. I mean, I'm looking at the list. Even Bitcoin you're crushing, but some of these other known, the S&P you're destroying. Google, Microsoft, Apple, you're beating them all by easily. Oracle. So take us back. Take us back to when you made this decision. You knew you would be ridiculed. Why did you do it?
Thanks, Charles, for having me. Most corporations are being torn apart by these twin forces of inflation from the government and then technology-driven deflation. So if you're a Main Street company, you're forced to fight for your survival with one hand tied behind your back. If you're going to keep up with the Magnificent Seven, you're going to have to grow your revenues and cash flows 20% a year or faster ad infinitum. So there's 7 companies that generate all the shareholder returns. There's 7,000 companies can't keep up. What we did in August of 2020 was recognize that there's no way we're going to outgrow Google and Microsoft and Apple Computer as a mid-sized software company. So we started looking to do an acquisition of a high-growth digital monopoly of our own. And we realized that Bitcoin is like a high-tech dominant digital network growing at 40 or 50% a year. And so we bought it. It's kept growing 40 or 50% a year. And now we're using our balance sheet to grow the company as well as our P&L.
Let's talk about the
I picked up this book called Blue Ocean Strategy. And it talks about instead of trying to compete with the giants like Amazon, Walmart, create a blue ocean within the wave of that red ocean, right? And to some of you, Redman, Billy, Brokioshi, I sent you guys, I personally texted you a question. What would you add? What would you subtract? What would you stop doing? And what would you do more of? And so that is literally what Michael Saylor is saying here is we realized we couldn't compete with the big boys. So we decided to look at another strategy. And here they are up 240% since they adopted the Bitcoin standard, as some call it. And it's paid off, and it will continue to pay off because we know Bitcoin is literally mathematically programmed to go up into the right in price. Let's continue to hear what he has to say.
The business side of it, the AI side of it, it's all the rage, obviously. What is MicroStrategy's doing with respect to artificial intelligence?
You know, we're the first BEI company to incorporate artificial intelligence into our product. And so we're
Tweet on November 4th about Bitcoin offering corporations an innovative strategy to preserve the capital, sort of what you just talked about. But what I thought was even more compelling is you said to escape the destructive cycle of expensive acquisitions, buybacks, dividends, and debt. Those are all the traditional ways companies are told they can reward shareholders. You're saying skip all of that and go straight to Bitcoin.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, decapitalizing the company by giving the capital back in a buyback or dividending it out and paying the tax on the dividend or engaging in dilutive acquisitions or pursuing breakneck growth initiatives that may or may not work. All of these things are part of the conventional corporate finance playbook, but they don't work. 99% of the companies are failing using that, and they do it because if they just hold their capital in government securities, they generate 3% after tax, and the cost of capital is 12 to 15%. So Bitcoin is the solution because you can buy Bitcoin, ride a 20 to 40% tax-deferred appreciation. You can beat the cost of capital, and pretty soon you're firing on all cylinders because your balance sheet is generating investor returns as well as your P&L.
Before I let you go, Bitcoin on a tear right now. What do you think, over the next year, what could be some of the drivers that take it higher?
ETF?
Look, the supply and demand are in balance right now, but after the halving in April, the supply gets cut in half, and after the set of spot ETFs come online, the demand's got at least double. So the only thing that's going to adjust there is the price in order to get the market to clear. And so I think you watch the spot ETFs and you watch for the halving, and the next 12 months are pretty auspicious for the asset class.
Yeah.
How excited are you, Robin, for the next 6 months, bro? Spot ETF, halving, economic meltdown. How excited are you?
Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. What's the second best? There is no second best. There's no second best.
There is no second best. Except me, I'm the second best sailor, I will say.
The second best co-host, that's right. So, yes, I am.
Thank you, Rocco. Or Ashley, whoever that was. That was probably Ashley because Rocco would never do that for me. Ashley, thank you.
I won't do it again.
Thank you, Ashley.
I don't appreciate that, but no, it's exciting. The halving coming around. I
don't know, man. You don't sound excited. You don't sound excited. You don't sound excited.
I want to.
I'm pretty excited about the halving. Yeah, it's gonna be.
I wanna subscribe to the idea that every 4 years a halving's gonna come. That everything's going to happen exactly as we predicted, or as everyone says. However, I'm a little hesitant to think that the history will repeat itself because the markets are forward looking and that people are going to position themselves to take advantage of the market. So generally you never line up exactly that way. So I'm just saying, I don't think the halving is going to happen how we do, where the halving comes and then 3 months later, 6 months later, you're off to another bull market. I wanna say that's not going to happen, but I think I have to. I think I have to say with the ETF coming, with the halving coming,
Bro,
I think it's inevitable,
stop
bro.
overthinking it, man. I'm the overthinker. Also, I know you said you don't like weather reports, but it is raining. Raining memberships here.
Dang.
Mike Volmer, Jimmy, French Toaster, gifting memberships. We're trying to get Emma one, but she just struck out again.
Emma, make sure you have the enable membership gifts. So in the YouTube settings, you can go down there and you can enable gifts. So you might have that checked off, by the way. So take a look at that. Yeah, so big so French Toaster 5 gifted, Jimmy 20, and then Mike Volmer 5 gifted as well. You guys are pretty awesome today. And then if you're new here, say hello. We do have also Austin Pecking, Darren Orange, Benjamin Coles, Bull Duck, Buzz Hernandez, Whom La Pera, 151 Crypto, Hefe Wick, I See Profits to all of you. Hola! Welcome to Sin
ICP, I see profits. Wow.
I see what we did there.
Anyways, let's take a quick peek at the markets. Like to take a start here. Open interest for BTC is over $16 billion, up 1% over the last 24 hours. The interesting one here is Solana. This was under 400 million, and we are at 657 million of open interest in Solana. ETH coming in at 6.35 billion, and XRP $750 million in open interest for XRP. So we didn't get to do this yesterday, but we want to do it today for you guys. So these are the token unlocks. Something to look out for, especially if you are a trader. You do not want to get blindsided. The one that sticks out the most for me here is Aptos, as they are releasing 10% of their total supply, about $180 million over the next 4 days, 4 hours, and 30 minutes. Moonbeam is also releasing about 1.25% of their total supply. And then which one's this one? Not sure. But that kind of rounds out the important ones. And then 1-inch GMX Pendle and EUL. Not sure what that is, but there you go. If you're a trader, there you have it. Rob, let's take a look at the markets.
All right. So we do have Bitcoin. Nice small rally today. I know we were playing around with the $34,000 range, and now you can see that just in the 24 hours, you had this big movement. We went all the way this morning, right before we went live, at 34.6, and now we're almost up $1,000 on the price of Bitcoin, up about $800 right now. So might not seem that dramatic, but it is a substantial move. Maybe there's something coming down.
I had to change. So when I did the title for the YouTube today, I said Bitcoin consolidates, but then I saw Bitcoin was over 35.4, and I was like, well, never mind, got to change it. Bitcoin rallies.
Okay, yeah. So do you think that we hit 36,000 by the end of the show? You think that's possible? The next 30? Nah, probably not.
I don't know. What would be the catalyst, right?
Yeah.
Unless we see a mass liquidations, which potentially. Man, we are getting some memberships today. Let me look at that. I know Broke Yoshi gifted 10.
Yeah, 10. We had 10 gifted memberships, 1 gifted membership, and then 5 more gifted memberships from Sailing to Crypto and Broke Yoshi. So big shout out to you guys. Hola!
Big shout out. Also, one thing to keep an eye on, we've talked about this yesterday, but Near Protocol, they're having their NearCon in Lisbon, Portugal. I thought we were supposed to go to one of those, Robin.
Yeah. You know what?
I got my passport. You're like, well, get your passport. I got it.
Is that supposed to be me?
No, you were telling me to get my passport.
I'm saying that voice?
Yes. Anyways, so we saw what happened with...
But yes, let's go. I am Portuguese. That's where the hola comes from.
Yeah, we know.
So,
anyways, what I'm trying to say here is something to keep an eye on. Cardano Summit, Cardano pumps. Solana Breakpoint, Solana pumps. Chainlink SmartCon, Chainlink pumped. Will we see some big announcement? People FOMOing in. Will NearCon push the price of Near up to over $2? Something just to keep an eye on, you guys, especially if you're a scalp trader or a swing trader. Now, Speaking of amazing people, we have one of our favorite guests joining us today. It's her 5th or 6th time on the show. We're waiting for her to turn 21 so we can fly her out to Vegas and party. It's none other than Miss Teen Crypto.
What's up, fam? How's
Randy,
it
how
going?
you doing?
I am more than chilling. I launched a merch store today, so I'm so excited about that. I see everyone talking about it in the chat. Yeah, like I'm just like living life, breathing air. I'm happy to be a part of Bitcoin. I think this is like a pivotal time in history where like banks are failing, fiat's inflating, no one knows what's going on, but we know Bitcoin has that finite supply of 21 million, inflation schedule every 4 years with the halving that's coming up soon, institutions flying in. Life is good. We're chilling.
I'm wondering where all this is coming from. Then I remembered you did an interview with Michael Saylor. Looks like he got to you pretty good there. So
Listen, I like Michael. I think he's a cool dude. I just think that, like, again, he says there is no second best, but he has talked about another cryptocurrency. He's mentioned it already. So I think we'll hear more about it
Bitcoin's
in
the
the
best
future.
crypto asset. What's the second best? There is no second best.
I think
There's
he
no
said
second
shit,
best.
right?
He actually for real mentioned Litecoin, I believe, once. So, and a lot of other maxis have mentioned it too, because it's
Come on,
basically
man.
Bitcoin,
Litecoin?
just 4
Saylor.
times the supply, faster.
Saylor, if
Listen,
you're watching, Litecoin, really? Sound like Tom Crown over here. Anyways.
I talked about it since 2020. I think it's
Yeah.
very important. Litecoin's very relevant. Trust me, it is.
Okay. All right. I'm going to trust you on this one, but I need you to trust me on something else.
I could
as
go
well.
into a ramble of
Yeah.
why, but like I don't want
You
to
need
sound
to
like a
come-
Okay,
Litecoin
sell me.
show.
No, no, sell
You know
me
what I mean?
Litecoin. No, no, MPC. Sell
Yeah.
me Litecoin.
No,
I got
don't sell
$1,000. I
anyone
need to invest
anything.
it.
Sell me Litecoin.
Not investment advice,
No,
but
not financial advice. No.
where you going?
No financial advice. I just think it's relevant because it has that, again, it's proof of work, fair launch, 84 million cap supply, just had a halving, has OmniLite where you could build on Litecoin, you put NFTs, you could inscribe ordinals on there. And then when ordinals were taking off, when ETH gas fees were ridiculous during the meme coin craze, where did everyone go to? That was Litecoin. If you look at the transaction, I believe it surpassed 180 million transactions. And there's over 50 million this year, something ridiculous. Then you also have MWeb, Mimblewimble extension blocks, which gives you that fungibility and that privacy. Where Bitcoin, everything is transparent, which we need, which I love. At the end of the day, you want what's going to encapsulate cash, sound money. If I'm going to Dunkin' Donuts and I'm getting my donut and a coffee in the morning, they don't need to know how much I have in my wallet, where I've been in the past. Same exact thing with cash. And I think MWeb is very special because of the privacy, the fungibility, and the censorship resistance, considering that Bitcoin can be tracked. I think at the fundamental, having that at least the amount being shared, so that if I transact with MWeb, it's only me and you that know the amount. At the surface level right there, it protects a lot of people that maybe don't have the freedom to transact the way they want to transact where they live.
Did you say Dunkin' Donuts? Because that is
Yes, Donkey. I love my Donkey. I was
So
there
much
this
sugar in
morning.
that coffee. Okay, so they're doing
I
all
get
that. How
basic
come no one's
coffee,
using
though.
them? Well, how come no one's using them?
Look at the stats. There's more Litecoin wallets than there are Ethereum wallets. There's a lot of Litecoin activity. Look at the on-chain analytics. You'll be surprised. It's just the price doesn't move the way people want it to, so they get a little impatient. But when you look at the fundamentals, and even the institutions know that, EDX exchange is the fidelity-backed exchange, right? What 3 cryptocurrencies do they have? Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. They did delist already. They delisted Bitcoin Cash. And the same thing, you look at Gary Gensler back in 2018, 2019 at MIT. What was he talking about? Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and Bitcoin Cash. Because again, it's fundamentally Bitcoin, just faster and cheaper.
He actually talked about Algorand as well. Remember his friend Sylvia?
Oh,
McKellen?
he loves his Algorand.
Yeah.
That's his secret love. That's
Yeah.
his boo.
You know what I love? I love rating people's portfolios, and I'm so happy to have you on the show today. So we introduced a new segment a few weeks ago, Rate My Portfolio. It's been a pretty big hit with our community. They give us their portfolio in terms of percentage, their goals, and then we rate it. We give our honest opinion, and we like to be honest here. Whether it's going to hurt people's feelings or not, that is not our fault. Now, we have today's portfolio. I'm going to keep this person anonymous, but we received this one. So this is a $26,000 portfolio. Their goal is to 10x in the next bull market. So leading off, we have 15. Well, I'll go over the other here in a second, but we have 15% in Chainlink, 14% in Cardano, 11% XRP, 10% Quant, 9% Filecoin, 8% Solana, 7% Algorand, 5% Shiba Inu, 4% Avalanche, and the other in this order: Illuvium, SingularityNet, Rocket Pool, VeChain, and then 1% each in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Rob, I'm going to go to you first. 10x this portfolio. Give us a rating 1 through 10. What do you like? What do you not like? What would you replace? What would you add?
I think that you do need some reassurance on some guaranteed plays like Bitcoin and ETH. I know you're going for 10x, and to nail a 10x, you're not going to sell the bottom. You're not going to buy the bottom, sell the top. So I just find it difficult to get a 10x without realistically looking at it in hindsight and seeing that you bought and the price 20x, right? Because you're not gonna sell the top. Anyways, so where I'm getting at here, I understand the motive. You got smaller plays, but I do think Bitcoin and Ethereum, particularly Ethereum, if you want, I think Ethereum's gonna have a ton of upside. I could see easily a $10,000 Ethereum. I think that can really just cement your gains, because a lot of you're going to take some L's on some of these tokens here. Which ones will underperform? I don't know. I mean, you can look at Dash in the 2014 bull market to 2013 to 2017, and that's a good example. Dash had hit I think over $1,000. Grossly underperformed its all-time highs the following bull market. I think we could see something similar with some of these alts. I do think that I would say half of this portfolio is destined for a 20x if you're going to look at all-time highs in the next bull market.
Okay, name a few.
Which I don't know.
20x.
I don't know. I think it's about 50-50. I mean, here's the thing: like Avalanche, Algorand, and Solana, Filecoin. I don't think all four of them succeed. Now, which ones will come out on top? I don't know. Maybe I'm more bullish on Avalanche versus Algorand, but perhaps that narrative switches. Same thing with Filecoin and Quant. I mean, we're pretty bullish on those. But I will say I do like the diversification. You got Link, then you got a strong layer one, Cardano. You have leading in payments, XRP, and then you got Quant. It's a good diversification.
Is it too diversified though, Robin?
No, I think it's spot on. I would just have more exposure. Maybe cut the bottom tokens there and just pile that into Ethereum. That would be my guess. If you don't want any Bitcoin, I understand that it's not going to have the biggest returns compared to the alts, but I think Ethereum is a must add to this portfolio. Maybe just trim down the backside of it.
Before I ask Missing Crypto Rob, I'm going to hand you this paper because my computer has to stay on this. I want you to type those percentages in the chat for the other. All right, MTC, this portfolio, give it a rating. Robin, what's your rating? 1 through 10?
I'd say 7.5.
7.5. Okay, so MTC, give it a rating, and keep in mind they want a 10x, $26,000. What do you like? What do you not like? And all we ask is that you just be 100% honest, and this person is anonymous.
Okay. Well, there's just a lot of things that maybe, like, we could look at. What am I looking at here? I was looking at a chart, Cardano, right, where it's like 35 cents now, had a $3 high. AVAX had a lot of room to run from where it's at now. So, I mean, if you believe that these projects can go back and reach their all-time high, because even though something like AVAX, right, could be 4% of the portfolio, if it like wildly outperforms like all these other coins to get to its all-time high, then it might end up being a larger part of the portfolio, if that makes sense, than all of the other things. Like XRP, right? There could be a sheesh ton of news. The thing doesn't move. You also have a ton of institutions, and the World Economic Forum, they're in on this too. So there's a lot of money in here, and the price it's at, I think it would take a lot of money to continue to move it, unless they keep making these quote unquote partnerships. Solana could be a hit or miss, depending on how the FTX trial goes. If these VCs get tired of like pamping it and kind of damping it, if you know what I mean. there's just a few things, but I think, and the other, I would like to know how much of each is in the other, because I know on Twitter you guys wrote some of it was Bitcoin, some of
I'll
it
tell
was
you,
ETH, but
and
I pictured
Randy,
that being a few $100 each.
I'll tell you right now, Randy. So you have other includes 4% each in Illuvium and Singularity Net, 3% each in Rocket Pool and VeChain, 1% each in Ethereum and Bitcoin.
I would say this portfolio is probably a strong 7 or strong, I would say maybe a 6.5, 6.9, whatever.
Okay.
Just because I think there's a lot of things that there are small parts that even if they do really good, it could like make up a larger part of the portfolio, but I'm not sure if it would be enough to 10x the whole thing.
Okay, fair enough. If you had to pick one to remove and replace with something else, what would it be?
I would probably take out, that's really hard. I would probably take out maybe, I feel like Sheeb could go on a really big tear or it's never going to run again. And I would probably replace Sheeb or Solana with something, if I'm getting rambunctious, Litecoin or Dogecoin. Because I know Dogecoin has a lot of future plans in terms of like use case. It's already programmed into the Tesla cars. Tesla accepts Dogecoin as payment. I feel like that's going to pick up more in the next bull run. And then, of course, it's going to be probably integrated into X at some point with other cryptocurrencies. That probably could be on this list too. But I think there's just use case.
I think you're more bullish on Doge than you are on Shiba Inu.
I am too.
Yeah, I think
Sheeb is just like a bigger beast, and Dogecoin is different because it's not like every other meme coin. I think people put aside that fact where Dogecoin is an actual proof of work blockchain where people are inscribing ordinals on there. There's Doginals, there's DRC20 tokens. There's a lot of fun that's involved in Doge that I know it sounds like kind of stupid, but if you look at what, even when I was in high school, what was everyone talking about? It's Dogecoin because it's more approachable, it's more fun. And there's just like that meme associated with it. But I think the proof of work, the tech of it all, especially when I was talking about before, when Litecoin transactions were spiking, right? Obviously, Dogecoin were spiking too, because one, they're merged mined. They have a nice little connection there to give Dogecoin that security. And also it has the ability to be better for value transfer. So even though it might sound like a joke, if Bitcoin fees are too high and ETH fees are too high, then why not use Dogecoin if it's actually going to move your money the way you want it to move and in a fast and cheap manner? If it's feasible, it's feasible. So I look at it.
What do you think there, David?
So you got a 6.5. So I'm at about an 8. 8.5. I like the diversification of this portfolio. I like that something like Chainlink is leading. I would, the only thing is, Algorand 7% is too much. Is too much risk for me. I would replace that with something like Near, something like Hedera. Love Solana. Filecoin. I love the cloud storage space, but Filecoin's tokenomics worry me. So I'd probably split that. I'd go 4.5 Filecoin, 4.5% in something like Arweave. I would replace SHIB with Doge. I like having a meme facet to it. I think it's pretty good. You got Illuvium in there, which covers your gaming. I don't really see DeFi though, right? Aave, Compound, some can argue Rocket Pool is DeFi, right? Liquid staking derivatives, some argue that's DeFi. I don't really put that in there. You have a few different layer ones. I want to see more ETH. I definitely want to see more Bitcoin. In my opinion, every portfolio should be anchored by Bitcoin. Every portfolio, if you're serious about investing in your future and treating it as an investment, Bitcoin should be the anchor of every single person's portfolio, unless you're completely generous.
Minimum Ethereum, right? That's me. Like if you really don't want exposure to Bitcoin, at least have a strong representation.
An anchor,
in
a
ETH.
match, 10%, 5%, 20%.
Anchor was 20%.
20%.
We don't talk about that anymore.
And then a little love to the chat. We did get a Retro Mike $2 super chat. Also 5 gifted memberships from Mike. We got a Ninja 99-cent super sticker and Broke Yoshi 1 gifted membership. And then we also have Wick. I gave Wick a shout out earlier, but his wife pulled up. So Wick's wife is in the chat.
Shout out to Wick's wifey. I love
it
her.
is.
Shout out to the wifey.
And then,
Yeah, Wick.
and just to kind of finish my thought on this, I would honestly, I think 4% in Illuvium is a little too much. I would maybe do 2% there and then throw some Gala in there to cover the gaming and add some sort of DeFi. So big thank you to the person who submitted this. Guys, if you want to submit your portfolio for review, you can DM us on Twitter or join our Discord, DM me or Crypto Billy there. If you want to remain anonymous, we're more than happy to do that for you. And so thank you to all of you for submitting. And congratulations, my friend. 26 to 260 is going to happen. Now, I was cruising down YouTube lane. And Robin, just stop with the looks, man. Sick of it. Missing Crypto.
Who says cruising?
MTC, I'm so happy.
Cruising down YouTube lane.
MTC, I'm
how
so happy.
old
I'm
are
so happy
you?
to have you on the show today. Thank you so much.
I'm happy to be here.
We're happy
I'm
to
happy
have
to
you.
be
I'm
here.
happy
Just
to
break
have
up the banter.
I am.
I'll be the little referee. You know.
I'm happy you're down cruising YouTube lane with us as well, Randy. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, let's go.
Now,
Let's cruise.
guys, okay, all seriousness. Ray Dalio, right? He's been catching a lot of attention. The Changing of the World Order was a massive hit. It's got millions of views on YouTube. The book is a national bestseller. Now with everything going on, he was on Tom Bilyeu's channel, Impact Theory. And well, crypto was brought up. And just listen to what he had to say. Ray Dalio, one of the most successful hedge fund managers ever. Let's listen to what he had to say.
Huge part of my portfolio. I think you'd be mortified to see just how much so. But yeah, what are your thoughts on crypto?
I think that too much people pay too much attention to one at the extreme of the other. You know, that either somebody's all crypto, or they're all gold, or they're all something. And I believe that that's a challenge. I think that crypto, like gold, is not a productivity earning asset, and it can be controlled by governments in lots of ways. It's been outlawed in a number of places, and it also can be monitored. The privacy element is not secure from governments doing monitoring, and so. And the size of crypto is about the size of Microsoft. You know, it's all crypto combined. And so to be overly concentrated in it, in my opinion, is a mistake. But to have some of it is a good thing. So the question is always what amount of it. So that's, you know, I have a little bit about it. I'd probably shock you about how little I have.
His little is probably like 500 million. Randy, let me ask you first. What are your thoughts on some of the issues he brought up? The whole privacy thing, and kind of his overall sentiment on crypto and what he said. Well, what are your thoughts?
Like total Liz Warren, Gary Gensler, Janet Yellen take of him. You know, it was just he's like, oh yeah, you know, I might dabble, but at the same time, it's garbage. It's like the same thing the bankers tell you when they're buying behind your back. You know what I mean? So it's more like he's saying, oh, privacy this, privacy that. But there are hackers that have gone to jail already because why? We were able to trace them. Bitcoin went from this address to that address, cashed out at this exchange. This exchange has KYC, says that this person cashed it out. How many times has this happened? It's countless. And of course, again, you know the address, every single thing on the blockchain is transparent. And you could also, again, have that privacy as well if you want to be able to have that ability with things like Monero, Litecoin, MWeb, like I brought up before, some privacy chains. I think, again, it's a bunch of FUD that he wants to scare people and say that it's censored by governments. It's like, how many times has China said that they're going to ban Bitcoin? And what? They're still mining Bitcoin. And retail trading apparently is launching. ETFs apparently are launching in China. So it's just a bunch of FUD to scare you. Bitcoin cannot be controlled. Majority of cryptocurrencies cannot be controlled unless they're literal centralized, and they say they're centralized blockchains, and you could tell by how the nodes are distributed, how it's mined, or the algorithm that it uses. All of that is very simple, very transparent. They want to scare people, and it's not cool. I feel like he should say, I own it. This is why I own it. This is the promise I see, and give both sides instead of just bashing it and just throwing in that he has a bag at the end.
We keep seeing these traditional investors, right? Traditional people continue to say, bring up stuff like intrinsic value. It's not backed by anything. And it's like the old lame-o argument of mining is bad for the environment. Well, we continue to share news that mining is actually helping the environment. So Rob, what are your thoughts on what Ray Dalio said? Very well respected in his space. Smart guy. Maybe does he maybe not understand the technology? What are your thoughts here?
No, he has the same emotions as inexperienced retail does for crypto. And during the 2021 bull market, he was on Lex Friedman's podcast talking about the positivity of Bitcoin, how it could replace fiat in certain regards. And so he was pretty bullish. I remember looking at Ray Dalio. I was like, wow. And that's really when I was also reading his book, The Changing of the World Order, at that point. And I was like, wow, you have this traditional, someone that runs a hedge fund, well-respected investor talking positively about crypto. And then it was 2 years later, or maybe a year and a half later, he was on CNBC. I think it was the Squawk Box. I don't remember exactly which one, but he was on CNBC, and he was over here just absolutely like destroying crypto. Like he was like, yo, this is terrible. I wouldn't have no exposure to it. I don't want anything to do with it. And now it seems like the sentiment is changing. So I feel like he is moving. He's moving in step with how retail thinks, right? Because in 2021, everyone wanted to know, hey, what's a good crypto to get into? What's going on with Bitcoin? And then in 2022, the end of 2022, it was, oh my God, crypto's terrible. And now people are starting to come back around to crypto. I think he shares the same sentiment. It's very interesting how a very savvy investor has a lot of the same mindset that the average retail person has. I think if he just took the time to learn about crypto, spent the 5,000 hours on Bitcoin's white paper, or just what it's about, its use case and utility, and its value proposition, I think he would have more exposure to crypto. I think he'll come around, but then again, he's made a lot of his money from traditional investments, so it's not necessary to chase big gains. He's made it so far without it.
Yeah. MTC, what is the website for your merch store?
It is missteencrypto.myshopify.com. I could put in this chat that's in our little stream item here.
.myshopify.com.
And then while y'all pull that up real quick,
missteencrypto.myshopify.com.
while you pull that up real quick, I'm just gonna give a shout out to the chat. If you're new here, say hello. We'll drop an hola back at you. We got BK Base, Julio BMX, Easy Rider, Howtopia, Beefed Up, Tyler on Gaming, Tyler Steve, John Legend, Night Horse, Wix Wife, Chris A, Rain here, Bam Bam, DGen, Hexagon, AF, some numbers, Y, Marcos, Shin, Manuel, Yerir, Navarro, David Ryan, and also Jimmy, 10 gifted memberships, Sailing to Crypto, 5 gifted memberships. Hola! Welcome to City Crypto. A lot of new faces. So
you were, Randy, you were pretty excited about your merch store. So first thing you said, well, here it is, missteencrypto.myshopify.com. And this is the first time I'm seeing it. So you just launched this today, or?
Yeah, I just launched it today. So I added like a bunch of stuff already from this morning. But if you guys see all the merch, just click on them because there's a bunch of colors for everything.
Okay.
So everything has a bunch of colors, a bunch of options. There's towels, there's beanies, there's t-shirts. And I have like, if they say unisex on them, it doesn't matter, like girl or guy. I've ordered shirts for me, shirts for like my family. They're all super, super nice. Good quality, everything. Staying zesty, sheesh, all the goods.
Cool,
All the
man.
goods.
That's awesome. Randy,
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Of course, you're very welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's always a pleasure having you on. Crazy to think how smart you are at such a young age. And I don't mean that in a negative sentiment. You know, I have a daughter who's 5. And if she can grow up and kind of follow the path you have, I would be an extremely proud dad. And so, but we love what you're doing for our space. The people you sit down and interview, going to these schools in your city and educating people. I think more people need to do that, and we just applaud you for doing it. And we love your knowledge. We love your presence. Thank you so much for joining us. Any last words you want to impart on us before we let you go?
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. I think all of you are great. Shout out to the chat. Like, of course, like giving into Emma's antics. So thank you for that. I also encourage you guys to follow me on social media everywhere at Miss Teen Crypto, everywhere that you can think of. I tweet daily. I'm always live in the morning, 9:45 a.m. Eastern for the Daily Zest, youtube.com/Miss Teen Crypto. Of course, check out the merch and always stay positive. Take self-custody. Keep your crypto off of the exchange. You can always send it back if you need to, but take that self-custody. Look at the fundamentals on the space over the pumpamentals always, and stay zesty. Thank you. I appreciate it. You guys are
Pumpamentos, I'm gonna
great.
use that.
Oladios.
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 Man, what a freaking full of energy she is. I love it. Love it.
Mhm.
All right, let's talk about this. You know, Cardano talks about side chains all the time. We even have Charles coming out, and when stuff goes awry, he tweets out, "Hey, Terra, why don't you join Cardano as a sidechain? Hey, Polkadot, why don't you join Cardano as a sidechain? Hey, enter name here." Well, apparently, Cardano is going to be using Polkadot, their software developer kit, substrate, to tap into a multi-chain expansion. Cardano announced yesterday that it will leverage Polkadot software developer kit substrate to build out its new partner chain ecosystem. Cardano's newly announced partner chain model enables developers to launch interoperable and customized chains that leverage the security and liquidity of the core Cardano network. The company highlighted Substrate's consensus mechanisms and ability to address issues like stake centralization as key advantages over the alternatives. One of the benefits of Polkadot is that it allows developers to build standalone blockchains that operate independently of Polkadot, such as Polygon's Avail project. I think the one issue people have with Polkadot is their parachain auctions. Some people are saying it's too pricey. But Polkadot's, we don't really talk about Polkadot a lot. Not a lot of news we see from them. But their technology is pretty good. They have Kusama, which is their sister chain, essentially the canary network, right? The canary in a coal mine. So any new dApp project that wants to launch on Polkadot, they do it on Kusama. They work out all the kinks, kind of like a test net, but it's a mainnet. And then everything moves on to Polkadot. Robin, what are your thoughts on this partnership? Polkadot, $4. It was over $50. That is a solid 12 to 13x. Is Polkadot something on your radar? If it's not, does this news put it on your radar?
No, I don't know. I'm just not the biggest fan of Polkadot. I don't have any hate or shade to throw their direction. I just don't have any exposure, and it just doesn't. I'm just not in the Polkadot camp. I don't know. I think I just have too much exposure to all the other projects. I feel like Chainlink, right around the same market cap of Polkadot, has more potential to be the layer zero or to be the interoperable chain that connects one ecosystem to another, whether it's blockchain to blockchain or blockchain to traditional finance. Also, you got Polygon right around that same market cap as well. So for me, I just feel like there's more exciting plays than Polkadot. And I don't mean this by throwing shade on them. I'm just a little bit more bullish on some of the other projects right around the same market cap. So looking at where it is now to where it potentially could be for potential X's, like 10X's and 20X's, I think that the competition right around that same range is a little bit more enticing to me. With that said, no surprise with Cardano partnering with Polkadot. Remember that.
Why is that no surprise? For a chain that has developed from the ground up since day one, decides to leverage another chain instead of building it themselves.
Charles Hoskinson has spoken multiple times on the fact that there's not going to be one chain to rule them all, and there's going to be interoperability amongst other chains.
Chainlink.
Now, and it doesn't matter even if which chain. It's just the same way as like you're going to have more than one DEX service. You're gonna have more interoperability with multiple.
Something's got to connect them all, though, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No. I think that having one chain that connects everything is not how it's going to be, because this is the internet. It's like saying you're going to have one search engine.
Protocol.
You're going to have one search engine that connects everything.
What if it's a protocol, Robin?
It doesn't matter. Where you need to, you got to think that you're going to have emerging technology that can communicate with one another. if you put a bridge or a link to them. And to think that there's going to only be one to do this is I don't think that's how it's going to work.
What about private and public blockchains? What about connecting those?
I think you're going to have competition, and I think that there's going to be benefits from one or the other. There's going to be a leader in the race. I'm not
Swift connects banks, right?
Yeah, but there's also Western Union, and if you want to send money abroad or you want to there's other options. Now Swift is the main one, but there is a host of other financial services that can move money between banks, institutions, can send money abroad. But you can easily say, hey, Swift is the most powerful, dominant, the one that moves the most value. Absolutely, 100% true. But at the same time, they're not the only player in the game.
They're the only one that matters
right now. But at the same time, are they going to stay at the top of their game for all of the future?
Will be the only one that matters.
No, absolutely
when it comes
not.
to interoperability.
I don't
Mark
think
my
so.
words.
I don't think so. And I don't know.
People are going to go where the liquidity is.
I think, honestly, David, I think to have a narrow point of view to where you just completely rule out the possibility that anything else can compete with Chainlink, it puts you in a dangerous position. You can say the same thing about smart contract platforms. You can go look at history and where the sentiment bullish, and it doesn't always play out that way. It does. I mean, you could have sat here and been like, XRP is going to take over the world. It's going to be the best thing ever. And well, they've had a lot of hiccups. I still believe in the project, but back in 2017, I don't think you could have said, hey, one of the biggest underperforming altcoins is going to be XRP. I think that you could have the same scenario. Chainlink could have some kind of hiccup, could have some downtime, some exploit. There could be a host of things that prevent Chainlink from doing as they're predicting in a bullish way. And here's the thing: before CCIP, we never even talked about it. So all of a sudden, your narrative is, hey, they're going to connect all blockchains, and I just came up with this thesis 2 months ago.
It's not about just coming up with a thesis.
Well, 3 months ago, you wouldn't have said that.
Because it wasn't.
That's what I'm saying. Like you just wrote off every crypto.
That's not true.
You wrote off every crypto in the last 2 months.
No,
and 3 months ago, it wasn't even a narrative.
Other chains are going to have value as well. It's just the liquidity is going to live on the CCIP protocol. That's it. And the link token is going to be used as a universal gas token, but it's not going to diminish the financials of the other chains. It's just everything will flow.
So excited. You get so excited over some news, and you move
How
way
is it
too
so
much.
excited about news?
Because the news just came out.
It's
2 months
literally
ago.
going to change the way our space operates.
I'm not saying it's not bullish, but to sit here and all of a sudden throw every other chain out of the window.
That's not what I said. I did.
You said there's no chance. It's Chainlink. There's nothing else. Everything else is irrelevant.
When did I say that?
That's what you've been saying this whole time.
And sure, something can go wrong. Anything can go wrong. But if Chainlink succeeds in what they're trying to do, connecting private and public blockchains, no bridges, no nothing. Everything, all the liquidity lives on one protocol, and it's accessible from a user end with one click. I don't have to go download 50 different wallets or do a bridge.
It's the internet. Companies are going to find different ways to connect to one another. It doesn't matter.
But if the liquidity is on one protocol, you're going to use that one. What do you talk about? Everything comes back to liquidity. People use Ethereum because that's where the liquidity is. We don't get bull markets until there's liquidity.
Sell your entire portfolio, buy Chainlink.
Thank you.
Nothing else is needed.
Thank you.
10% Bitcoin, 90% Chainlink.
Yeah.
Perfect portfolio.
I love
10
it.
out of 10.
10 out of 10. You know what else is a 10 out of 10? Bitcoin is straight pumping, man. Bitcoin is pumping 35,556. 16. A lot of sixes, a lot of fives. Will Bitcoin get to 36K in the next minute? I don't think so. But, I asked Robin earlier if he was excited about the next 6 months. He didn't seem too excited. I'm excited, man. I am so excited. I truly believe we are on the path to the largest bull market rally we have ever seen. The amount of money, liquidity, hype, supply, I mean, it's all converging, and it's all going to be lit. The light is going to be the strike match is going to be the spot ETF.
Yeah.
And then the freaking gasoline on that sucker is going to be the halving. You shut your mouth. Oh, damn. Shit, sorry.
What is wrong with you?
I didn't even look.
I'm gonna throw this big ass hammer at your ass.
I didn't even look. I'm sorry.
What if you would have hit me in the eyeball?
You came in with an eye patch. Would have gotten you that 2-for-1 special. from
God
CVS.
forbid anybody talks about chain link negatively. You might lose an eye over here.
Careful. Careful.
Careful.
Guys, go follow us on Twitter at Sin City Crypto 1. Also, if you want some Sin City merch, visit
Do we have
inandoutcrypto.com.
an HR department?
Visit inandoutcrypto.com for all your merch, Sin City merch, but also other merch as well from some of your favorite projects, Cardano, Ethereum, all the likes. Guys, I think we had close to
Also,
100.
big shout out to new help.
Look at that. Ashley comes in. We get 100 gifted memberships. Ashley, how much do we owe you?
A lot.
A lot, she said. Well, we'll make payments if that's okay. We just got to raise the money somehow. YouTube keeps 30%. Now, guys, want to thank you, give a thank you again to BlueWireTech.com, Cam's Blue Wire Technology. They are our channel sponsor, networking partner. So visit BlueWireTech.com. You want to learn more how they can help your business scale and grow. And with that being said, Ashley, since this is your first time, something called a finger tornado. This is how we end the show. This is your cue to hit a button. But before we do that, Jimmy gave $5, said, David, we gave out over 100 memberships and Emma got 0. Open up the club and make her feel better. If Emma comes back tomorrow, we'll open up the club for Emma, okay? I'm making the decision. It's going to happen. It's kind of 100 memberships. You couldn't even get one.
I'm telling you, it's probably in the settings.
Yeah,
Let's
it's gotta be the setting.
enable
There's no way.
enable gifted memberships.
There's no way. Anyways, Ashley,
Wow.
Get away from him to do the stupid thing.
guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Big thank you to our guest, Miss Team Crypto. We hope you enjoyed today's show. Come back tomorrow for an even greater show. Until then, guys, peace.
Sin City Crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin.
I also want to give a big shout out to Alex Green, who subscribed as a level 1 member. So welcome, Alex. Also, Retro Mike Tech also got a Sinner level membership. So big thank you to you guys. Big thank you for all the support. We love you guys. Until tomorrow.